Hello, I'm here to give you a short video demo of the Builder Grade Concrete metric version. So a metric plugin for PlanSwift for concrete. I have the plugin assigned under Templates, Parts, and Inputs. You just click on the elevator bar here, find the plugin you would like to use, and here it is now. I have a drawing here. It is Imperial, but it's the one I have permission to use from PlanSwift, and the scale is set to be equivalent to the metric. So to use the plugin, you come over here into the Template, Parts, and Inputs, look at the plugin. You can see that they're organized under top levels. You find a top level that you would like to look at, you click on the plus, and it opens up to the specific assemblies that are in the plugin. In some cases, like down here, there's going to be sub levels, and you can open up those sub levels and also see more assemblies that you would like to have to be able to use. To use the plugin, you find the top level that you would like to work with, open it up, and then you can go up and down the list here, and notice on the left side there's the green dot. This is the important thing that we're looking for. What happens is we want to find the assembly we would like to use, then you click the green dot. A dialog box pops up. The dialog box has four sections. First is the title, the name, which, by the way, you can modify. So you can say continuous footings if you'd like, build-in 11. So I've modified the title. Then are the dimensions. So in this case, we have the footing width, the footing depth, the concrete strength, the waist, and then the keyway if we want it or not. On some options, you're going to have an elevator bar here, and in this case, you can see that we have different strengths of concrete to use. If I pull the elevator bar way down, you can see that there's also imperial strengths in here. I know that in some places you have both options. So you find the one that you'd like to have, and then you're ready to go. The next section is the breakdown structure. You can turn this breakdown structure on and off. So if I click in here, notice that it turns off. Click back, it turns on. We'll set the breakdown structure. We're working in build-in 11. This is going to be at the foundations. I do not have a zone that I'm using, but the WBS, I'm going to use this one to delineate the work between straight time and overtime. WBS 2 and 3 will be unused. The area down here at the bottom is specific to the takeoff. In this case, we have color in the fill type. You can come into your bar and change the color if you would like, and it will change. And then the fill type can be changed also if you like. These options at the bottom will vary depending if you're doing linear takeoff, count takeoff, or area takeoff. You click OK, and now you're in takeoff mode. So now you can use the ability of PlanSwift to outline the area that you wish to take off, or in this case the length that we wish to take off. We stop the takeoff by clicking the escape key. So if I hit escape, then the takeoff is complete and we can go on to the next one that we would like to have. Now in this case, I'm going to use a slightly different assembly which takes off the footing and the wall together. So I hit the green dot again. Here are our questions. And we go through and review our dimensions that we would like to have. Everything is good. I need to set up the breakdown structure. The building is different. We're still in the foundations and we're still on straight time. The color is okay. I click OK, and now I am in takeoff mode for these foundations, and the wall itself with it. And I'm not being overly careful on my takeoff. There's plenty of videos on how to do that from the PlanSwift folks. I click escape and my takeoff mode is done. And this is the process of how you use the plugin. You come in, open up the top level, you find the assembly that you would like to use, you click the green dot, we go through and we answer the questions in the dialog box to keep the work organized the way you would like to see it. Once the questions are all answered, then you can come in and do your takeoff. When your takeoff is complete, you hit escape, and the information that you have taken off is now done. Go into the estimating tab. Notice that we're looking at the top level of the 3 assemblies that we have taken off. And here are the takeoff quantities of the assembly, 2 in meter and 1 in square meter. If I open up and look at the top assembly, here is all of the detail of what has been taken off based upon the takeoff quantity and the answer to the questions here. So all of these values have been calculated based upon your takeoff quantity and the answer to the questions. So we have the concrete placement, the footing forms, the footing form labor, the strip and oil, the finish of the footing, the footing keyway, the keyway labor, and the shape and grade. You can see the quantities here and the units of measure right here. If we look at the second assembly that we have taken off, you can see that we have both the footings and the walls. There's one line item for concrete. It is a line item that has both the footing and the wall concrete together. But then here is the wall placement, the wall forms, the wall form labor, strip and oil, and so on, all the way down through each line item of the plug-in. And finally, at the slab on grade, we have the same thing. At the top level is the takeoff quantity, but then we have the concrete, the placement, the forms, the wire mesh, the curing, vapor barrier, the finish right there. So all of these values have been brought into the estimate based upon our takeoff. Now there's a number of things that we can do here under the estimating tab. First, you can change the specification information on certain line items. For example, the vapor barrier. Right now it comes in with a generic description. I right click, go to properties, go into, you can work here, but I prefer personally to work in the form. Notice that there's a question here for the vapor barrier type. If I go to the elevator or the drop down, notice that there's generic ones at the top, and then there's some specific manufacturers down below. We can say we want to use the Stego 15 mil, and notice that when I click OK, that the description now has changed to reflect the product that we will use. Now this specific information is available in a number of different places. So for example, at the hard trowel finish, if we go into the same place and look, there's an option for finish type, and there's different types of finish. And obviously we're going to leave it here at hard trowel, but some specification information is available at each of the line items. I did not put that information here in the form because it would just be way too many questions to answer. So that information has been kept down at the line item level. You're also looking at the CSI divisions in this column right here, and then the subdivision in this column right here, and then the phase. So each and every line item of each and every assembly, and by the way, there's over 200 assemblies in this plugin, has been filled with the division, subdivision, and the phase. You're also looking at the location here, and then the floor of where the work is, and these are the WBS codes that have been brought in, that we filled in when we entered the information into the dialog box. So this CSI code information comes from a list. If we go to the list drop down, you can see that there's phase 3 concrete. This is a starting point CSI codes, and this list comes with the plugin. You can add in all of the additional CSI codes that you want. You can make this list as narrow or as full as you would like, but this is the starting point that comes with the plugin. We come back to estimating. If we go to any line item here, you click once to get into the box or the cell, then you come over to the right side and you click again. It will pop you into the list, and then you can move up and down, and when you find what you would like to have, you just click on it and that value will come into the list here. So we've taken the information off. We have gone through to review the information under the estimating tab. I go to reports, and we can look at reports on this estimate. There's a number of reports here that are taking advantage of the CSI and WBS codes. If we look at report by CSI, you can see here's the earthwork. That would be the shape and grade under the footing and the slab. And then here's the concrete work. This report is organized, you can see right here, by division, subdivision, and phase. If I go to the subdivision for forming, then we're at the phase level, and here are the footing forms. Here is the wall forms right there. Here is the vapor barrier. Here's the keyway and chamfer, and then the stripping for all the forms. You can modify these reports as you like. I don't pretend to be able to design the reports that you want to have, but these are starting points. So you can come into these reports and start to look at and modify these reports the way you would like to have. And there's videos and demos and classes by PlanSwift on report modifications. If we would like to look at this estimate by location, here's our work in build-in 12. Here's our work in build-in 11. Here is the concrete work in build-in 11. So for example, this report could be modified to be the location, then the division, then the subdivision if you would like. But you get to modify these reports as you like. This is how you use the plugin. You start out by getting the plugin assigned, going up and down the list of assemblies, doing the takeoff. Then you come into the estimating tab, make the modifications of what you would like to see. By the way, here you can also see, if you go to the columns, you can start seeing the pricing and the cost and the markup percents of everything. You can change and modify the CSI and WBS codes, and then there's reports to report all this out to you. I thank you very much for your time to review the plugin. There are 3 other videos. One video goes up and down this list of assemblies so that you can see the specific assemblies that are in the plugin, and there's over 200. A second one is a more intense primer on the CSI and WBS codes. And the final one is how these assemblies are put together so that you can go in and make your own modifications to the assemblies if you like. Once again, thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, please shoot us an email and I'll be happy to answer your questions. And I hope you consider this plugin for your use. Thank you.